point. I think we were talking about Anthem, and you made a fucking sound of frustration, and I even said that I wanted to clip it as an ISO because it was the greatest fucking. I don't know if you remember this, but
I don't think I do.
It was like so much like you were so anguished by something that made no fucking sense. It was either Andromeda or Anthem. And I can't replicate the sound, but it was like someone trying to scream with their mouth permanently shut.
Okay. Well, maybe that's how you feel today, because that's just going to be the cold open now. I was going to cold open with something else, but that's just what it is.
It's not a baby story, is it? Because I don't want to rob people. People fucking love those baby moment stories.
No. The only thing I can think of that happened this week, it was my birthday. So
shit, that's fantastic. Happy birthday.
Yeah, it's today, or not today. In disclosure today, it's Halloween. My birthday is very close to Halloween. I am now entering my last year of my 20s. So once I turn 30, I will wilt and cease to be no more. So
you know what the truth of it is, honestly? I mean, we're gonna sound like older millennials, which are
you're older than me, aren't you?
Like I am. I said we're gonna sound like older millennials, and at this point, let's just all be honest. We're fucked, right? Because the Gen Z people treat older millennials like they treat boomers. Okay, like we're so fucked at this point. Like they're out to get us.
But that's how it always been. Like, you know, like it's.
But isn't, like, I'll be real honest. Here's my perspective, right? 31-year-old dude. I think that the early 30s that's the new early 20s, man. Like I think that's really when people are. It's kind of sad in a sense, but that's really when people are starting their lives. It's an odd thing to say, but it's true.
I mean, yeah, I guess probably the best like Zoomer diss on millennials I've ever heard is like,
Harry
90s
Potter
kid.
thing?
No, well, that is also very good. But the next one is 90s nostalgia. You mean sad adult? So I'm like, yeah. Dang.
I just love the one. I guess it was maybe TikTok comments about how they go on, how we're always talking about what Hogwarts house we're in, and I was like, God damn, these kids brought fire today.
Well, no, the full quote was like, "Oh, what Hogwarts house were you? And I'll just grow up and do some cocaine." Don't do drugs, kids. But like,
listen, fuck you, kids. I already bought a house. Eat it, okay?
Did you actually buy a house?
I bought a house when I was 22.
You live in a house? I thought you just lived in an apartment.
I am trying to sell my house. So let me give you some advice. Be very careful before you buy a house. Because it's fucking hard to sell it afterwards. It's fine. Honestly, when I sell it, I'll probably sell it for a little bit of money. Profit, I mean, so.
Man, I'm just... Fuck you, Jordan. Give me your house.
Oh, you want to move to Texas? Because if you guys want to buy it and move to Texas, we might be able to work something out.
If you could buy Michael a job in Texas, we'll buy your goddamn house, man. Like,
I can find people jobs anywhere. At least.
My mom would be ecstatic.
Oh, because they're in Oklahoma, right? Closer?
Yeah.
You guys would be closer.
Yeah. Well, we also have my dad's... This is a cold open? This is just us talking now. No,
everybody
my
moved
dad's
to
family's from Texas.
Look, Joe Rogan moved to Texas. We have a podcast that has 1/1,000,000th the size, not even 1/1,000,000th. I think we might even be smaller than that. You could be just like Joe Rogan and move to Texas.
I mean, I hate the heat, though. I'll say that.
Yeah, there is that. Anyway, we were going to talk about video games this episode, we promise.
We were? Okay. This is just us catching up as people. You know? That's it.
Okay, Mass Effect. Jesus Christ. But by the time people listen to this, it will be November 5th, November 6th, something like that, when the show comes out.
Like that. Yeah.
And so it's going to be very close to N7 Day. N7 Day, I don't know if we've ever done a specific N7 Day episode of the podcast before. I don't think we have.
I'd be surprised if we haven't done anything.
We've probably mentioned it around the time, I'd imagine. I know I've done a couple of N7 Day streams, etc. No promises on that, but hopefully I'll get a chance to stream some Mass Effect. But I don't know. Like it is one of those things that is. I assume everybody who would listen to this podcast would know. But N7 Day is sort of like November 7th. N7 is like the iconic Special Forces thing. It's like basically the logo of Mass Effect, and so it is the official, unofficial Mass Effect Day. I think that the last time we talked about quote unquote the future of Mass Effect was in the August of 2018, which was the 20th episode of Split the Veil. So people can go back and listen to that episode to hear us mainly talk about why Mass Effect Andromeda had disappointed us, because at that point we were only about a year and a few months after the release of Andromeda. And even though we sort of covered the topic of quote unquote the future of Mass Effect, it just feels like it's kind of a different world right now. Like I said this right before we started recording to Caitie that, it's like it's the same topic, but it feels very different. Like at that point in time, in the middle of 2018, I said on that episode, oh, I can imagine it'll be at least 5 years before we get another Mass Effect game. And I thought I was being very cautious and very sort of like, not pessimistic, but I thought I was putting a really safely long tail on it. Well, fast forward more than 2 years, and like, I don't think there's any way in hell we'll get a Mass Effect game in 3 years.
But that was also before, I'm pretty sure we knew about the Dragon Age reset, I guess, and Anthem going, whoo, push. So, how are we to know?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, we didn't know.
Yeah. And then, what else? Oh, and then the pandemic. I'm sure that's pretty much set things off a whole year.
Sure.
Regardless. So I think we should maybe also start with the remaster that is rumored to happen that has yet to be announced, which may be announced in 7 day. Who knows? I just want to quickly, like, what are you? Yeah, you lukewarm? You hot on it? What are you feeling?
So, who knows? That would be very interesting. I mean, we are, again, recording this before N7 days, so we don't know what's going to happen. It might be announced. I have little to no interest in it as a player. As a commentator on Bioware and Mass Effect, I'm very interested to see how it's going to perform from a fiscal standpoint. I'd love to see it sell a bunch of copies. I'd love for it to be on the new consoles. I think if it has been delayed, because it's been rumored for a long time, and not even rumored, there have been really solid sources who have said this is happening, but it seems like it's been waning. And so if that's the case, I hope it's a strategic thing where they pushed it so that it will come out hopefully very soon. Maybe, I wouldn't say launch, but maybe very soon after the consoles come out for the holiday season. I think that would be phenomenal, and it would hopefully sell a lot of copies. Beyond that, I don't think they're going to remake it in any way that is significant enough for me to really care.
Yeah. No, I think I'm kind of with you on that. I think it's definitely more of a console player thing, which, like, good on them, because I know it's, like, really hard. Like, playing Dragon Age Origins on a console now is, like, good luck.
Yeah.
Have fun with that. So it's the same thing with Mass Effect, because it's to be honest, pretty old by now. So, like, yeah, I think it's good for them. But, like, for PC players, they're going to have to really pull out something real cool for it to be worth whatever price tag it is. And I just don't think they're going to do it. Even if it's just, like, updated graphics, like, I don't think. Because, like, we got all those, we have fan-made graphics that I imagine, like, are at least going to be on par with what it is. So unless they just, like, report, like, the entire game in Mass Effect or Andromeda graphics even, I don't even know, well, maybe not that because people didn't like it, but
yeah.
Backtrack that statement. Like, I just don't see it working that well on PC, and this is more of a console thing. So, like, since we're both PC players, it's just, well, you have the consoles, but you're...
I play everything that I can on PC. I only really play exclusives on console. Yeah,
so, like, I don't know. I'm not excited about it. Everyone's like, oh, I want it now. And I'm like, But that being said, like, there is something to be said about being really obsessed with the thing. Like, if there was a Dragon Age Origins remaster, I would sit there and be like, oh, dang.
Yeah.
Should I not? Ugh.
It's the little things, right? Like, what's the cover art going to be? Like, literally, I think about that sometimes. Like, if the cover art's cool, like, I'm not to say I would get it for the cover art, but, like, I'm very interested in how the brand is going to continue to evolve.
Honestly, if I had to put money on it, I think the cover would just be, like, split the cover into three.
Oh,
like,
I hope they don't do that.
It's going to be Mass Effect Trilogy, and it'll be, like, a slice of each cover. Like, I think it's going to be that.
You're probably right. Like in my dreams, I'm like in my dreams. It's like an epic shot of all the companions, like in one sort of like lore impossible. Like Caden and Ashley are both still alive. Like it's just everybody standing behind Shepard. Oh, that would be epic.
I maybe they'll have a special edition like that. Like if you slap down the. I don't know, you pre-order it, you get one of those. But nowadays, well, I guess maybe console's a bit different. But, like, who buys the physical any days?
It's true.
Like, especially with the pandemic, like you can't really drop into GameStop and be like, oh, I risk getting sick to go get my copy of Mass Effect. I say as I did that with Animal Crossing, but you know what?
I mean, GameStop, well, first of all, good on GameStop. They're plugging right along when everyone thought they were going to be out of business a year ago.
They did. Yeah.
They drop it off on the curb now. So, yeah, no, you're totally right. The physical thing, that's just not as big of a deal anymore to people.
Mm-hmm. So it's just really less the cover art and what's the icon art going to be. But, okay. But, yeah, so I guess, like, for us, the remaster, I think we're both just kind of like, I mean, we'll see what happens. But, like, they're really going to have to pull out something special for either us to plop money on it.
I do sometimes think about the fact that, like, I wonder if, and I know this might sound crazy because, again, we were just talking about how we're old millennials or whatever, but, like,
boy.
sometimes I have to remember the fact that, like, God, how do I say this without making myself sound so fucking old? Like, you forget your age a little bit, right? You sort of freeze yourself. I mean, I think a lot of people do this. They sort of freeze themselves in time around their early 20s, I think. And you forget that, like, a decade, 11 years, 12 years, Mass Effect came out 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and I hear people all the time. I was actually one of them to talk about a different franchise. I didn't play Fallout 1 and 2 when those games came out. The first Fallout game I ever played was Fallout 3. And Fallout 3, if you're familiar with that whole series, it's like, some people consider it to be the bastardization of Fallout because that's when it changed from Interplay to Bethesda, and it was like, oh, it's going to be Oblivion with guns or whatever.
It kind of was.
It kind of was. No, look. I mean, there's a big difference between Bethesda Fallout games and the original Fallout games. But my point being, I'm pretty sure Fallout 1 came out, or maybe 96 or 97, right? 96 or 97, and then Fallout 2 was either like 97, 98, something like that. Fallout 3 came out in 2008. Right? And there's this whole generation of people for whom like Fallout was the biggest thing in the world at that time. And then there was a whole generation of people that I'm actually part of, actually, that was like, oh yeah, Fallout, I think I've heard of those, but I've never played them. And then we played this new game, and that introduced us to the series. And since I've then gone back and love the original Fallout games, I wonder if 12 years after Mass Effect, there's some 17, 18-year-old kid out there who's just like, if they don't remaster them and put them on the new consoles, he's not going to play them.
Yeah. No, I think there is, yeah. But I guess this is maybe something that leads us into the next conversation. Like, at what point, like, it is good to have accessibility to games and, like, old stuff because, you know, the old stuff is good. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? Does Mass Effect really need to live on to the next generation, so to speak? Like, at what point do we need to just be like, all right, it was good. I had a lot of fun. We let go. We say goodbye. That's
a great question. Are you saying as far as just not doing the remaster or having BioWare move on to a new IP?
I guess both in a way. Like I feel like, you know, this one's coming, it's whatever, but like let's say in like 10 years time to do another remaster, I'd be like, did we need that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's been like when did Mass Effect 3 come out? Like that was before I even got married. I think I was in college.
It came out in 2012.
Yeah, so I was in college at the time, and now I'm like, you know, that was 8 years ago, you know? Like
yeah, no, it was.
So it's been quite a while. So if in like another 8 years or whatever they want to redo it, I'm like, I'm good, you know? So like it's one of those like, you really enjoy it and you have a lot of good experience with it, but like the next generation, like, wouldn't it be better for a story to like, it's like a new one for them, like have their own thing. Like we don't need to constantly be recycling media. Like I think that's kind of what Disney's doing right now, which I find kind of gross, is that they're just making live action things of all of their old IP. And like I guess like why just make new stuff? Like maybe it's riskier and you make more money doing that. And like, okay, business sense, I get that, but like I don't know, I guess I would rather see a new series. Like I just like, you know, Mass Effect. Well, so there's Mass Effect Andromeda, which I think is a whole nother beast. So we're just focusing on the original trilogy here.
Yeah.
It's sad to say goodbye, but I think it's time to let go.
I agree with you, I think, on a lot of ways. Like, I've said this about the Splinter Cell series, and I don't want to repeat the whole thing because I think I've done it on older episodes, but that's an example of a franchise where I'm like, just do a different stealth game. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, Sam Fisher's become like the James Bond of like, how does he have a canonical age anymore? Because he was already old and grizzled in the first one. The guy's like 66 years old at this point. Like, how is he still doing this? And then they just retcon the age, et cetera, et cetera. But then when you retcon the age and it's like an espionage series, it's like, was he part of the Gulf War anymore? Or wasn't he? Like, all these historic events. Mass Effect doesn't have quite those same problems, but at the same time, it's like, I'm trying to imagine what I would feel like if BioWare said, our next announcement is a original IP science fiction role-playing game. That's not like Anthem is like a science fantasy kind of thing, but like we're gonna do a sci-fi game, and it's gonna be a totally new IP.
I think I would enjoy it. At the same time, like, I think they get a lot of backlash out of doing that. Even if the game, it'd be like, let's say the game, they do that and it's amazing. But a lot of people are going to be like, well, it's not Mass Effect. Because you do have those diehard fans that just want more of that over and over again because they've already, live in that world. They've already lived in that world. And now they're going, like, they want to keep going there. They don't want something new. They just want what's comforting and what they know.
I mean, yeah, but it's so interesting how like that exact same dichotomy existed between KOTOR, which is not a BioWare property, it's a LucasArts property, between that and Mass Effect, and between Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter Nights, and Dragon Age. And like those old fans complained and protested and said, we don't want this, we want more of what we had before. But eventually, new fans and plenty of old fans said, no, actually Mass Effect and Dragon Age is like, that's now what BioWare is known for, when there was a time when people were like, no, fuck this, give us Baldur's Gate and KOTOR.
And now Baldur's Gate's being done by someone else. Which,
hey, that's great, So yeah, I guess just completing the thought of, would I be more excited by them announcing tomorrow, or whenever it is, we're doing something new as an IP versus here's the next Mass Effect game? It's kind of weird to say because I know there's a nostalgic part of me that would be very excited for more Mass Effect. And not just nostalgic, but like it would be so great if they could reinvent Mass Effect. It's still Mass Effect, but it's radically different. But I got to say, it's probably about 50-50. Like, I think there's a part of me that just as much wants to see what they could do in a totally new IP.
Yeah, I guess I'm just so strongly a fan of trying new IPs rather than old ones that, like, even if, granted, I want Dragon Age to finish first. Like, if Dragon Age finished and then they did something else, I would be happy. Versus, like, if they Dragon Age finish and then they try something new, I think I'd be kind of like, let the dead rest. It was so good as is. Don't try to tack on something to it. And I think that's how a lot of people felt with Andromeda. Where, like, they really liked the trilogy, and then Andromeda came along and was, just something completely different, like, both tonally and, like, how it plays and everything, that they just kind of felt disrespected by it. So I kind of feel like, I don't know, I think it should, I don't want to say die, but I think it should rest in peace.
Yeah, I mean, we could say die. I mean, I know, again, it's like, I'm the biggest Mass Effect fan in the world, and I think it's I'm a totally with you generally, like I said, with Splinter Cell and everything else. Like, generally, I like new IPs also. Mass Effect's probably the one IP that I'll, like, cling to a little bit more than anything, because it's my number one. I said Halo should be, like, let's just stop doing Halo games. And I fucking love Halo, but I'm like, it's just enough. Like, just... And Bungie moved on, right? Like, Bungie did move on. They made a new IP, but Microsoft owning Halo was like, no, we got to make Halo forever.
Yeah, because that's the big moneymaker. And I imagine, like, even though Dragon Age is still ongoing, BioWare, like, for the most part, you say, what game does BioWare do? You go, oh, Mass Effect. Like, people don't think about Dragon Age, even though it's ongoing. And, like, look, N7 Day, like, they just have a whole new line of products you could buy for N7 Day. Like, N7, and granted, this is, like, any whatever, but just, like, N7 Day is just, like, BioWare gets to sell a whole bunch of Mass Effect products. They're like, hey, remember this game you liked? Here we have specials on it.
Can we talk about that for a second? Because, like, I know, look, I know this episode's coming out on N7 Day, and it's meant to be a celebration of all things Mass Effect. And if you want to see a celebration of all things Mass Effect, like, I got a YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel. We've been celebrating Mass Effect for a very long time. And I've been defending Mass Effect for a very long time, even when it's not at its best. But the whole N7 Day thing at this point, and I hate to be a downer, like, considering this is going to be releasing around N7, but, like, what are we going to do for the next 5 N7s?
Yeah, No, I don't know.
Like, what are we going to talk about? And I don't think we're going to do an episode. Like, we're definitely not going to do an episode every year because at a certain point, it's going to be like, what are we talking about right now? When not only the games haven't come out in 3 years, there hasn't even been new media, no real new novel, or I'm not saying I want another anime, but like something. There's nothing that's been coming out as far as comics or novels or anything.
Yeah, I think it'd be a bit different if there was like comics, novels, like just something in world happening. And like they had stuff they could do with Andromeda, right? Like I don't know why it just like stop production, like everything's gone, Like even Dragon Age, which has been just kind of empty for the past couple of years of game wise, like they've had a fair amount of like comics, and a new novel came out this year and stuff like that, and we don't get a day, we had to make one.
The self-made day is going great though, people love it.
Yeah, which it's strange how like different they are. Dragon Age has been and always will be BioWare's redheaded stepchild, and I don't know why.
Do you really feel Dragon Age is though? Because like Dragon Age to me is like that's the roots, that's the CRPG roots, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I guess compared to Mass Effect, like now with Anthem, I think there's a whole other story.
Yeah.
But, like, I knew Mass Effect, like, in college, I kind of got away from gaming just because, like, I was busy with other things. But when I came back, like, even I knew Mass Effect. Like, everyone knew Mass Effect.
Right.
And then, like, it was a couple years later, I'm like, oh, like, they did another game? Oh, I didn't know that. What's that? Oh, Dragon Age? Oh, I guess I'll try it. Here I am. But, so, yeah, I don't, they don't, it's like there's no, they didn't have like a whole celebration. If you go onto the store and look at the Dragon Age products, it's like, you got some things, but it's like mostly Mass Effect things,
Dragon Age to me, I see it as the standard bearer of the RPG tradition, going back to Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights. Mm-hmm. But you're right that like the iconography of Mass Effect, we've talked about this before. If you wear N7 gear, people stop you.
Yeah, no, they have. I have a one Christmas. Michael got me a one of those like loot box things. It was a Mass Effect one, and it had a jacket on it. It's a comfy jacket that I wear all the time, mm-hmm. and every once in a while I'll wear it to the grocery store, and I like people will be like, "Oh, hey, you like the game?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah." Don't notice me, please.
The fucking, I don't know if it has the power stripe as well, but like
it does. That's how people.
The power stripe and the N7 are like, people get it. It's such visually striking, visually recognizable iconography that it lends itself well to branding. So it's understandable that Mass Effect as a brand is still very valuable, and I get that they're trying to keep it going. But look, I'm kind of a cynical commentator at this point. People kind of know my stick, and if you're gonna be, I mean, like. Jesus Christ, you're literally right. It's like, a week, N7 week, and on day 1 you can buy a cup, and on day 2 you can buy coasters, and on like, mm-hmm. I get it. They have to hawk merch. That's part of what branding is, and so I have an N7 cup. I drink coffee out of it all the time. I love my N7 cup. I'm not saying that I'm like, I don't buy merchandise. I fucking buy merchandise too. But for, and who knows, because it's not N7 day, and they might announce God knows what on N7 day, right?
Well, they've already announced like more merch coming out on N7 day. So, and it's like, today is Halloween, let me tell you. So we got like at least a whole week coming.
Yeah, but I just mean like, who knows? Maybe they do announce it. I am 99.9% sure they won't, but if maybe they announce a teaser trailer for the next Mass Effect game. We don't know.
Like if we get a Mass Effect stuff before Dragon Age is out, I feel like people are going to riot. Like,
not me. I'm going to be like, Mass Effect, let's go.
Of course you wouldn't. But the rest of us. Like, even Anthem. Well, I think Anthem. I feel like in the order how things should go is that you have Dragon Age 4 come out, and then you have Anthem next or whatever, and then Mass Effect people can eat their turn, you know? Like, let us have our time.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if it was in release date order, it would be Dragon Age, Mass Effect, and then Anthem. But I feel like they need to start the Anthem thing faster than everything else.
Yeah, like I will say this. Like, here's my serious opinion. Anthem Next is coming out first. I think you and I disagree on this, but if I had to make a prediction, I say Anthem Next comes out first, then Dragon Age, then Mass Effect. That's my serious prediction. But let me tell you, if by some fucking miracle Mass Effect leapfrogged in front of everything, and they've had this development behind the scenes. Holy crap. I think you and I have joked around before on the show or one of the streams about how, like, what it's like when you're the favorite child. I'm like, we're the favorite. Sucks to not be the favorite, huh? Like, no, I mean, jokingly, but I would be hyped. But it's not going to happen. Like, I really think Anthem is the favorite, to be quite honest. As far as the development priority right now.
I don't see that at all.
Not from the fans, but I think the development priority right now is we have to fix Anthem. I mean, it's probably not an either or, right? Like Austin is really the one focusing on Anthem.
Yeah, I was about
right
to
now.
say, like, I think they actually divided because there's Austin and Edmonton. I think Edmonton's all up on the Dragon Age train, and Austin's doing the Anthem next.
Yeah, which not to spin this into the Anthem update, but wow, they've got some exciting stuff coming, right? Totally revamped the skill tree.
Yeah,
and like,
I didn't like read it cover to cover, but like I was looking at some of the pictures and skimming it over, and it looks like a whole new game.
It looks like a big revamp, and it looks. Let me tell you, nobody's surprised by this because it's the exact same people, but it looks a lot like SWTOR. Not a lot like it, but like some of the stuff with like the way they're replacing certain inventory items. I'm like, oh, they're going for the same slots, like the same sort of upgrade slots as SWTOR has. So anyway, but no, like. We don't know what's going to happen on N7 Day, but I'm 100% with you. I think, I don't know, another feel-good video is going to come out. They'll do another video about how great Mass Effect is. And I'm not going to lie. When I watch those videos, I feel a little, they tug at my Mass Effect heartstrings, and I go, oh, yeah, I really love this stuff, but that's it.
You bought into the marketing, Jordan.
No, I do. For 2 seconds, I buy into the marketing, and then once I'm done watching it, I go, yeah, but what what do you guys have? Like, what do you have? And, look, they're working hard, right? They're coming to work every day, and they're working. Like, we know that they are working on stuff. Video games take a long time, and they are increasingly taking longer and longer. And I'm sure that no one is more excited and more eager and to sort of talk about whatever the next Mass Effect game is more than Mike Gamble and the people who are working on the next Mass Effect game. We're preaching to the choir. We're not preaching to Bioware, but if we were, we'd be preaching to the choir.
Yeah. It's so. If you could, other than like new merch, if you can take a stab at N7 Day, are you saying it's just going to be like a feel good movie day and like that's about it?
It is going to be a feel good movie day and another sort of like. Casey Hudson comes down from the mountain. Like we'll see how gray and how long the beard is this time. Which look, Mr. Hudson, I'd like you to know, like my hair's going gray and I'm 31 also. So it's like it's fine. It's I'm not making fun. Casey Hudson comes down off the mountain and like at this point it's like a tradition. Like he turns around in the chair holding the cup and he's wearing like a sweater and he's like, we're still hard at work at the Mass Effect franchise that we all love. And then like that's it. It's like another like reminder that like, hey, Mass Effect's not dead, and then that's it.
And like the 3 people that are on the team that are working on it give a thumbs up.
Yeah.
What Mass Effect means to me.
Yeah, that's basically it. That's my prediction for what they'll do on N7 Day. And the remaster, again, my most positive possible, I wouldn't even call it a prediction. My most positive hope is that it's a surprise holiday this year.
What do you mean a surprise?
Like it comes out for Christmas. Like it's going to be out this year, the remaster.
Oh, I thought you meant N7 is a surprise holiday. I'm like, bad news, Jordan. I don't really know about it.
No. Like I just mean like they will have it ready to go. Like it's basically done. They just haven't announced it, and they were holding it for the new console. I'm not saying that as a prediction. That's the most optimistic thing I can think of.
Because I thought the rumors were like something happened and they went into like retool Mass Effect 1 more. So like it's actually going to come out next year, like early sometime is what I thought the rumors were. I don't know if that's true or not, obviously.
Yeah. I heard that as well. Like they didn't think that the combat held up well, which to me it's like if they are blowing the dust off of Unreal Engine 3 and actually tinkering with that in-engine how it was made, that's incredible and also kind of weird. If they're not doing that, are they remaking Mass Effect 1 in Frostbite? And if they are, that's a huge deal.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, if that's what's going on, that would be huge. And maybe that would be worth, like, me replaying it on the remaster or whatever. But I have my doubts. I don't know.
I don't think that that's what's happening. But if they were doing that, it would be a bombshell because that's making a new game.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, Baby Gil agrees.
Yeah. Do you not want to play the new game? I thought you liked video games. You like
She's like, nah, I'm tired of remasters. I've only been around for 4 months and it's the same 2 video game franchises. Baby Gil's like, wait, you guys only talk about the same 2 franchises on the show?
You great. You're my mom? Oh, cringe.
She's like, yeah, come on, like, talk about Cyberpunk. What are you guys doing?
I like Animal Crossing.
I mean, I guess here's one thing to talk about also. I was looking up on the Bioware blog and like, it's been a long time since they even really mentioned Mass Effect.
When was the last time?
I mean, I think, like, am I getting this wrong that it was, like, sometime early in 2019?
Wow. That doesn't surprise me, but that sounds like...
And even then, it was just like, hey, don't forget, like, we haven't forgotten about Mass Effect. Like, it's been a long time since there was really anything to update on, other than the N7 days. Other than that, I don't really think they've mentioned anything about it in a long time. And, like, I get it. It's going on. It's in the background. Somebody's full-time job is to work on what's happening next with that. And also, there's a lot of other stuff going on across Bioware. There's Anthem. There's Dragon Age 4. And, like, hey, I sure hope that the predominant bulk of the force at this point is on Dragon Age 4 because, you know, the last Dragon Age game we had was in 2014. And we really want more Dragon Age. So that's all fine. I do just think that it's like, I guess ultimately I'm a little bit concerned about the brand. You know, I talk about as well, like, and maybe that's why the remaster is important, because I talk about that 17, 18-year-old kid who, like, what is Mass Effect to them necessarily? Like, there might be a whole new demographic that would love to get into this franchise and that would love to be a part of this brand, but there has to be a way to keep it relevant. And hey, if a remaster is that thing, great, but also, what are those other things?
I guess I'm just still in the camp of, like, I understand this mindset. They have it sitting there. They might as well use it. It makes good money. Let's go. But I guess I just would rather see the new IP. And, like, every time they don't do that, I'm just like, I don't know, guys. Like, maybe.
Yeah. And also, another thing, too, to bring this aspect into it, where the hell is EA? Like, that's kind of my question on this. And I don't know what the contractual stuff is. I don't know what as far as I understand it, EA is they completely own all the IP, right? So I don't know how BioWare feels about this, but, like, if BioWare's busy, why don't you get somebody else to make a goddamn... And it doesn't have to be Mass Effect 5. Get somebody to make a Mass Effect... I'm not going to even... Whatever. Maybe it's a different genre. Maybe it is that tactics game we've always talked about. Maybe it's a combat game. You know, they just came out with Squadrons, right? Like,
or a VR game. I don't know what you would do with that.
Sure, something to just say, hey, what else can we get to stick that's current with Mass Effect?
Yeah, because I think it makes enough money to be worth, like, another studio doing a spin-off.
Yeah, totally. No, I mean, look, I'm not out here making pitches. Maybe I am, but, like, it's not as much as, say, with Star Wars, but there is a little bit in the lore as far as, like, dogfighting, like individual fighters in Mass Effect. Ian Fraser, who was one of the lead designers on Mass Effect Andromeda, just recently worked on Squadrons for EA. It's like, dude, how awesome would that be if there was, like, a space fighter game in Mass Effect universe? Like,
I feel like, though, they're probably not going to re-release one because then it'll compete with Squadrons, but overall, a decent idea.
You know, just anything else from a different studio that has the capacity within EA, like, that to me seems like and who knows, again, I don't know, maybe something's in the works, but if it's not in the works and if they haven't at least explored that, I feel like it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah. I would, because I want that Dragon Age, what's it called? Dragon Age Tactics game so bad. I'd be like, yeah, do that. I don't care who does it. I just want it now. Which, like, not that I think they should, but I think it would make money if they do, like, I don't know what's the best way to word it, but, like, Mass Effect The Sims, you know, or Dragon Age The Sims, because you have that collection of people who are really just there for the role-playing and the kissy faces, and I feel like it would actually make a good amount of money if you just sat there and was like...
Right.
Look, guys, we see those inner demons.
Yeah.
We're here for them.
Yeah.
You want to do those weird, dirty things? You want to know what sweat smells like, whatever the famous story is? We're here to deliver. It's bubblegum.
Look, I'll tell you this. Like, Larian has just gone, they have no shame with the...
I have not, like, seen it, but I heard they were pretty, like, whoa.
It's fucking horny on Main over there with Larian and Baldur's Gate 3. Like, they are not playing games. Their fucking behind-the-scenes video dev diary had, like, the diagrams. You know what I'm talking about. Fucking diagrams, okay? They're fucking drawing plays, okay? They're out here playing quarterback. Okay? Tight end, all right? Trick plays, the end around, flea flicker. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They're over here drawing up plays. for how how these romance climactic scenes are going to go on, and I'm just like, y'all really showed this in a dev diary.
And there's people going, hell yeah!
Fuck yeah. There's somebody with like the anime where they start drooling and the background changes. Like there's somebody who's just like flipping out. I'm like, oh, we're so close.
Oh, God. Never do that again. Oh, boy.
What were we talking about? Mass Effect?
Yeah, I think we just basically said we wish not maybe we wished, but what if Mass Effect just leaned into the porn?
What if they did it? What if they did a dance back to our old idea about Anthem, microtransactions?
Oh my God, I forgot about that. DLC porn.
99 cents to hold hands. What was it that we came up with?
Every time. You had to pay $1 every time you want to hold hands.
Oh God, $2 so Liara can sit on your lap.
Would that count as internet prostitution?
I look, I don't know, but if there's ever been a concern about, kids and gambling, well, how about kids and fucking microtransaction? I feel like we're turning into a Fox News segment right now. The sex box.
Okay, hold on. Let's merge those ideas. Sex loot boxes.
Yeah, the sex loot box.
You'd be like, oh man, I hope I get the doggy position in this one.
God damn it. We just lost all the kids. Now we do sound old.
Yeah, like doggy some exotic sex position.
Oh, Jesus Christ, and we're complaining. So anyway.
Jesus.
I was going to say, look, anything related to Mass. At this point, I'm not saying it's at the top of my list. I'm not saying this is my main suggestion. Even if they came out with like a really cool, interesting fucking mobile game, I'd be like, okay. Like, I'm not saying that fucking Elder Scrolls Blades is my favorite thing ever, but I've played Elder Scrolls Blades a little bit in the Elder Scrolls series, and I'm like, yeah, it's not a full Elder Scrolls game, but I'm impressed with how close to that it is for what the medium is on mobile. If they did something like that with Mass Effect, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'll play that.
Yeah, even Dragon Age has a mobile game that's still going on,
Right.
Like, what's up with that? Which, granted, I did a video on it not like that long ago. I think it was like 6 months or something. But I was like looking at the developers who do that game. It's like EA Mobile or something. I forget what it is. And like they don't advertise that they do it at all. It's like dead to them, but it's still getting updates. So like,
oh, fun.
Get on them. But yeah. Okay. Very short discussion. They say, Jordan, you love Mass Effect enough. What the heck would you do with the Mass Effect phone game? What would it be?
Oh, that's a great question. So they have done a couple of mobile games before. We did a whole episode about Bioware mobile games, and you can go check that out if you want to listen to us recap them. But they've done a couple Bioware mobile games before. It's greedy of me to say, give me shrunken down tactics, because that's the thing I keep saying about Mass Effect for years. And you say the same thing about Dragon Age, but like, you can do, like, there's full blown XCOM 1 on iOS. That's my stretch goal. That's my dream upon dreams, is they would just do a shrunken down tactics game. Otherwise, like, I really wouldn't mind a sort of like Telltale, sort of like, there's really not even action in it. It's more just kind of like dialogue scenes and like QTE, like story driven. Give me like 5 episodes or something like that. I'll be fucking ecstatic.
See, for some reason, because like this is kind of what the Dragon Age one is. I was thinking like some collective figurine, whatever. So I'm like, I can collect the ships.
Oh, those are huge. Star Wars has that. Like that game is taken over on like those. That format is very popular.
Or like you could throw a puzzle game on it, like my beloved Sailor Moon Dross, which is bejeweled with Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Wouldn't really fit Mass Effect, but like maybe you could do, I don't know, some other puzzle game, and you make it Mass Effect. You do that. But yeah, I get that's what I play. Like if I'm on my phone playing a game, it's like some puzzle. It's not a tactics game. As much as I like tactics games, I don't really want to play one on my phone.
Yeah, I also wouldn't mind. I would not mind a sort of like like a FTL, sort of like managing the ship kind of a thing, like a crew management thing. That'd be it. I mean, it could be the Normandy, could be some other spaceship. Obviously you have to attach a good storyline to it. But if they were to do that, I'd be pretty down for that too.
Yeah, that could That could work. Yeah, but that's a whole other discussion. I just want to know, like, what would you play as a Mass Effect? Let's what do you want to go next?
So I guess again, like just kind of centering back on like why are we doing this episode again? And I feel like there are things to talk about because we've been talking about them, but something about it just feels very different. And I'm trying not to have it be totally pessimistic, but it doesn't feel as a Mass Effect fan for me personally. And I'd be very interested to hear what everyone thinks, right? So like, leave comments and tweet at us and stuff. What do you think about this as a Mass Effect fan? But when it was 2018 and I was saying like, oh yeah, 5 years for sure. And now here we are 2 years, more than 2 years since that episode came out. It's like, we're not fucking 3 years away, not even close. I don't think we're 5 years away at this point from a Mass Effect game. I really don't. I think we're minimum 6 or 7. And something about that just seems kind of like, not me personally, because what's going to happen, like I'm very excited to play Cyberpunk and I'm not really excited for Starfield anymore. I haven't talked about that on the podcast because on that last on episode 20 of Split the Veil when we were doing Future of Mass Effect, I said, "Oh yeah, I'm really excited for Cyberpunk and I'm really excited for Starfield." Correction, I'm still really excited for Cyberpunk and I'm very skeptical of Starfield.
I've not been on the pulse of Starfield. Has there been anything released about that since?
Only leaks.
Leaks. What's with the leaks? What makes you not excited?
They look like shit, and I understand. They look like shit, and I understand it's not a finished product, and you can tell like the lighting's not fully baked, or they're doing dynamic lighting. Like it's not. You can tell they're not done graphically. So I want to be mindful of not fully judging the graphics, but I'm like the UI, and again, I understand UI is one of the number one things that changes. I understand we're looking at a very, very unfinished version of it. But the thing that scares me about it is no matter how unfinished it is, I look at that fucking engine, which is the same engine they've been using since Morrowind. And they're like, yes, but we updated the shaders and we updated like the graphical portion of the engine. I'm like, yeah, but everybody walks like they walked in Morrowind. Like, it just looks bad. Like this game is going to come out in if we're lucky, 2021, 2022, maybe 2023. And it's going to look, I'm willing to bet it's going to look like Fallout 4 looked in 2015 without mods. And like, and I also start to think about like, and I'm replaying Fallout 4 right now with mods. And finally the modding scene for Fallout 4 has fixed a lot of its issues. But like, knowing what I know about the Bethesda engine, like they're not going to be able to do an open world space game properly. Like, they're not. It's going to be like fucking, flying a spaceship in a Bethesda game is going to be like riding a horse in a Bethesda game. It's going to be a mesh around your character, like basically walking through space. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how it feels to ride a horse in Skyrim.
And where would they put the dev room if there is no like floor?
You're right.
Would it be in a planet?
Yes, it's going to be in a volcano.
That is actually, like, God. And here's the thing, like, they've been using this engine so long, like, I'm not, like, a huge not Mass Effect, I'm not a huge fan of, like, really any of the Bethesda series, but even I know about the dev room, like. Yeah.
And, like, lockpicking's gonna be exactly the same, and, like, we already know.
Excuse me, it's hacking, but it's, like, the exact same
the exact same thing. Or they have a hacking minigame in Fallout, right? So are they? Oh,
I forgot about that.
Are they really going to design a new one? I don't know, but I doubt it. So anyway, update on people. Like, the fact that we're 6 or 7 years away from a Mass Effect game, for me personally, it's whatever. Like, I have lots of other video games to play. But again, as a commentator on this franchise and as someone who generally gives a shit about it, like, I'm fucking concerned about public interest in this. Like, I'm really concerned that by the time this comes out, it's going to be considered a fucking retro game.
I think, Jordan.
It is a retro game right now.
I think it's a retro game right
now,
Jordan. Boy. The third game came out 8 years ago.
Yeah.
There are people who weren't able to play the first, like, 10-year-olds, and when Mass Effect 3 came out, are now able to play it legally, because of the M rating. There are kids who don't remember anything about Mass Effect because maybe they were born when it came out and now they want to play it again.
Yeah.
So like, it's like, what were we talking about?
Fallout.
No. I mean, like we were on one of the streams we did. I don't know if you were here or not. we were talking about Dragon Age Origins, and someone in the chat said, "Oh yeah, I remember. I was extreme, like 2 or 3, and like this is the first video game I remember coming out playing with my dad." I'm like, "Oh my god, you were how old when this game?"
Yeah, it's Yeah, you're right. It's startling.
I was in high school.
It's fucking startling when you put. I mean, like I said, if we use my Fallout comparison between 96 and 2008, it's not that. Yeah. It's the same amount of time between the first Mass Effect and this one.
Well, there you go.
And this year, so it's like I guess to some people it probably already is considered a retro game.
I think it is. Yeah, like maybe this is the episode where we realize that maybe we're older than we thought.
This is the episode where Caitie and Jordan realize that they're old and the video games they love are too.
It's true though. Oh goodness. Yeah.
Well,
I guess on that, so I've been it's with the baby. It's hard to like sit down and play like a computer game because like you need to be at the computer. But one thing that has been super nice is the Switch. So I've been really into Animal Crossing recently, and there was I wanted a couple things in the game, and I went onto a site called Nookazon, which is essentially a website that's Amazon, but like you're using like in-game items to trade.
It's a great name.
Yeah, it's very good. But as I'm reading things and like looking into stuff, I'm realizing that like, oh, everyone's like 16.
Yeah.
I'm half their age or twice their age. Oh, I'm the old lady with the baby sitting here going, yeah, I want to trade blue bears. Does anyone have anything?
Yeah.
Hold on, my baby's crying. Can I? I'm sitting there nursing my child as I'm playing a video game going, look at these young children.
But I feel like Animal Crossing has a very wide demographic, like very wide.
It does, but I feel like the people that are like really into it, that like are sitting there trading and like doing whatever, like they're the young kids that have time, and I'm the old woman that's like plays like 20 minutes a day. Got in some good time today, you know, like the people who spend hours and hours and hours are like the people single and they're 16 and like they're not paying attention to their Zoom classes online. You know?
Slacking off on Zoom class. I bet a lot of our audience feels the same way though, or at least some of our audience. I know some of our audience is very young, but I know some also probably relates to what we're saying. I gotta tell you though, that's the great thing about fucking Star Citizen, man. It really is the dad game. Like that fucking game is legit the dad game, and I'm not even a dad, but I'm about it. Because there's not that many kids.
Okay, I don't know much about Star Citizen. Maybe I should get Michael in here to give his spiel on it. But what do you do?
You fly around in your spaceship being a spaceman.
Exactly. There's nothing to do. So the young kids are like, I'm not going to put money in.
That's also too expensive. Like, to be honest, like it's too much money.
And the dads are like, ooh, cool, spaceships. It's like train. There's people that are really into trains, and they just sit there making models and go, look, it looks like a real train.
That's a lot.
That was spaceship.
That's a lot of it. I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie. It is a lot of like, ooh, do you have that ship? Like, can I come aboard? And like, you land at a space station, you just kind of look at other people's ships, and like, there is some gameplay loops, like whatever. Like, there's bounty hunting. There's, you know, like there is stuff that you can do. But a lot of it is like flying around in your spaceship being a spaceman. And it's just, I don't know why. My brain is simple in that respect. I just like doing deliveries. I like hauling cargo. I don't know why I like it. It's relaxing.
Yeah, you know, this probably isn't the time, but we finished Death Stranding, speaking of hauling cargo.
Oh, you made it farther than I did. That game was weird as fuck.
We liked it because that's like our cup of tea is weird things, and we sit there and go, this is weird, interesting. Yeah, we're gonna haul some cargo. Yeah, but I would also like, in the same vein, Death Stranding is kind of an old person game because like it's really not about like getting the high score or doing whatever, even though it is good to get like the, you know, the S ranking in your deliveries. But yeah. But anyway, what we were talking about was Mass Effect, which isn't an old person game. Yeah,
what was it? I got off on this shit because, like I said, there are lots of other things to play. I'm just concerned about the brand, and then we got onto us being old. But I'm like, you know, I look, there has to be a plan, right? There has to be a really good plan at EA and at Bioware to say, these are the things, and for the love of God, N7 week, buy a cup. That better not be the best part of the plan, goddammit. There better be way better stuff on the plan than that. Of like, here's what we're doing with Mass Effect. I know a lot of it is like, it's hard to accomplish doing big stuff. It's hard to find the right partner to write a novel. It's hard to find the right partner to do comic. I'm sure every brand in the world wants a Netflix series, and I'm sure Netflix is probably saying, this is not right for us, or this is right for us. So, and then
aren't they doing another video game?
Assassin's Creed just announced it.
Yes, sorry, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. But Assassin's Creed has a new game every year, so I mean, like,
right.
I'm not surprised.
So, I don't know what the options are, and again, a lot of it is expensive, a lot of it's hard to find the right partner. There's a million reasons why it can't happen, but like, I want to know that there's some can-do person at Bioware and EA going, fuck all the obstacles. Like, we're going to grow the Mass Effect brand, not let it shrink before a new Mass Effect game comes out.
Or
it dies.
Well, I would say, like, or we just dress in black and have a good memorial service and be like,
yeah,
you know what? When I first played Mass Effect, I was really good and it was there for me. And now it's time to move on with my life as I get really into
Animal Crossing.
Gardening. I don't know.
Star Citizen. I mean, honestly, like that's kind of what it feels like. Although at this point, Star Citizen might die before it's born.
Yeah, there's a reason some of my friends call it Scam Citizen. I'm just going to say
I don't think it's a scam, but the name is like, it is catchy, Scam Citizen.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a catchy name. Look, I've already enjoyed Star Citizen in alpha more than I've enjoyed certain games, right? So I feel like I've already gotten some out of it.
Yeah, as long as you get something out, if you pay money and get something out of it, that's fine. But like, I've paid money for games that were actually good games and then didn't like it. So like,
it's true.
What's the real scam, Caitie? Oh boy. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess really the way to kind of wrap up on this is just to say I really want to hear what other folks have to say, because there is a chance that other folks. There's a chance that, look, here's what I also want to say. If you're new to maybe our show or you're new to the fandom, like, you maybe just decided to finally get around to Mass Effect in the past couple years. And so you're not in this state of like, oh, it's been so long since a new game came out. Maybe your excitement level is still very high, and that's fucking awesome. I would love to hear from some of those people, because that's kind of what also keeps the franchise going, is the fact that not everybody played in 2008, not everybody played it in 2012. Some people come to things rather late. Like, I came to the Deus Ex series several years after that game came out, and it was coming out around the same time as Mass Effect 1 and 2. And that's another one where we've been waiting for new stuff, but I'm like, okay, that's fine, because I really just kind of played those in the last couple of years.
No.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, at one point, like, there is like this, what's the best way to put it? There is this cultural identity to Mass Effect, let's say. Like, it is this game that was really good, except for the third game's ending, which sucked, but it was so good up until then. Yeah. It was really great, and it was hoo-ha. But then, like, there are going to be kids that say, like, oh yeah, my dad played it and really liked it, you know, whatever, I'm gonna sit there and play, it's gonna be great. And then it's gonna be really dated. Because they're not going to redo the entire thing. Something is going to be really dated. Because like, when I played Mass Effect 1 in, like, 2014, I thought Mass Effect 1 was dated. And so they're going to play the game and go, wow, what, I don't like this. This isn't good. Like, like, they have this expectation in their mind and then what it actually is. And I feel like that's going to turn a lot of kids off. So like, even if they remaster it doing pretty well, if you're trying to get a new generation into this game, like, I don't think remastering the same game over and over is it. You're really going to have to do a new game. And that was what Andromeda was trying to be, but it just didn't live up for whatever. Andromeda was in a weird space where, like, they kind of wanted it to be something else, which I think was a good idea. However, you marketed it as a Mass Effect game. And it's kind of hard not to do that either. And so the old fans came in and ripped a new one, and there are fans of Andromeda that are new fans that actually aren't even fans of the old series. Right. So Andromeda, I think, was always going to do. And looking back on it and looking at the situation, I think, even if it was super great, I don't know if Andromeda would have survived very well. Yeah,
I mean, again,
it was just
like, it was hard. Right now, I still am in that mindset of like, I hope there's folks who are really trying to, like I said, buff up the brand and save it, but I'm in a different space around Mass Effect than I was 2 years ago, and you give it another 2 years, and I might be, right now I'm 50-50, I might be 60-40 or 70-30 towards, let's just do a new IP.
And now, I I've been on new IP probably since a year ago. Maybe, I don't know what I said last episode, but I because this whole year has been crazy, mostly with the pandemic. How much of what you're saying now is just you being pessimistic because this whole year has been pessimistic so far?
For me personally, probably not. Okay. Yeah, for me personally, probably not. But I just think here's the thing, like, new IP is not bad. I would be, again, when I'm saying 50-50, 70-30, I'm excited on either side of that number. It's just a different type of excitement. And I hope other folks feel the same. And really, I think it just matters, like, Bioware for many, 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 decades now at this point has a tradition around storytelling and choice and knowing how to make role-playing games. They have faltered at times, and at times they've made games like Anthem where I go, I don't really even know. This doesn't interest me. A lot of people love Anthem, but like for the most part, they have been very consistent about delivering a type of game, and I just want them to keep doing that in whatever IP in whatever genre. And they are like Dragon Age Inquisition won Game of the Year, right? Like, it's not like, some people get really caught up on like the old BioWare or whatever, but like there's been a lot of good shit.
Which, like, at this point, there's 2 old BioWares.
There's multiple, yeah.
Yeah, we gotta stop saying old BioWare, because now it's like old number 1 and old number 2. There's old BioWare with like KOTOR and Neverwinter, whatever, and then there's Mass Effect series and like Dragon Age, Origins, and maybe not 2, but Inquisition's in there, and now we're in like the 3rd wave BioWare,
right?
We're gonna have to start. You fellas that are I say fellas, but I mean everybody. You guys that are like really into saying like, oh, old BioWare's better. You got to say like, oh, which wave, 1 or 2? Because I still get comments to this day on videos and like PMs and DMs and like all sorts of things of people going like, okay, well, the last 2 BioWare games didn't go so well, so do you think Dragon Age 4 is going to be okay? And I'm like, guys, I don't know. Why are you? Let me get out the Ouija board and predict the future.
Just call up Jason Schreier real quick.
Yeah, hey, beep beep boop, hey Jason, what's up, man? Because I have his number. I don't know. So yeah, people, because the last 2 games didn't go so hot. Like, people are really worried about the future, and I do wonder if the remaster goes well. Is that going to boost their current public opinion? Or if it doesn't go, because like it's going to be weird. If the remaster is good, then it's going to be like, oh, BioWare, released the same game, so of course it's good. But if the release is bad, then people are going to be like, well, maybe the game was always bad.
I honestly think that the remaster is going to be a big deal as far as it's important, right? I don't know how it's going to go necessarily, but it is an important thing. And if I had to bet from the commercial standpoint, I think it's going to sell well.
Oh, yeah. Especially if they do like collect, like, here's the game in a collector's tin or something.
Yeah, all the DLC and everything. And like, I think that's, I really do think that it could be a nice shot in the arm. EA gets to see that the interest is still there, the financial success and the potential for a new game is still there, and I think it could be something that sort of helps set the priorities within BioWare. And again, I'm thinking about that whole generation of folks who maybe have never really been exposed to it, and that's a super exciting thing to have new folks come into the franchise.
I can't wait for all the Zoomer memes
of Shepard's head spinning around and let's bang and all this. We'll bang, okay.
Well, no, it's going to be a whole new generation. Because, like, imagine.
They'll come up with new memes.
Well, yeah, because I'm sure, like, the remaster, no matter what they're going to do to it, there's going to be new glitches. There's going to be something new going on. Yeah. Well, anyway, I think it's about time to wrap it up. So, do you have any final thoughts?
No, I think we've covered everything. It is N7 Day again. A little bit of a downer episode. Obviously, we fucking love Mass Effect, and happy N7 Day to everyone. Go out there and play the games that you love. And we're still looking forward to what else might be coming up.
And buy your N7 mug. It has been decreed.
Buy the water mug. Okay, we might have to cut this part out because it's a little bit ranty. I'm not going to fucking pay $35 shipping or whatever the fuck they're charging. This is fucking insane. Like the shipping
I
is
have
a
not
meme.
even looked at the shipping.
Like the shipping is a meme on the Bioware site. Like it's insane.
I have not even looked on it because I just at this point in my life I'm like I don't want to buy any new stuff. My house is full of baby stuff. I have no more room.
Like somebody in BioWare needs to like start like doing a black market and start selling it on Etsy or something. Like this is like this. How can I don't know anyone who charges that much for shipping? Is that just Trudeau? Is it Canada? Like what are they doing?
I genuinely don't even know. Yeah, I wonder like if you live in Canada, it's like shipping was like $1. What are you even talking about?
Oh Lord, it's a nightmare. Anyway, all right. I think we've covered everything. Caitie, where can the folks find you?
They can't. I'm dead. No, that was the Halloween episode part. Anyway, they can find me at Ghildirthalen on YouTube and Twitter. Where can they find me?
Folks, well, depending on when this episode comes out, I'm going to delete my Twitter because of the election in the U.S., so I'm just not going to look at that situation. But other than that, they can normally find me on Twitter at The Exalted March and YouTube, Instagram, everywhere else, The Exalted March.
All right. Well, with that, guys, Daresh Sharam.